What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. So, I wanted to tell a story about how I met Juventud Guerrera. That's right. Uh, I'm a big, of course, obviously, Lucha Libre fan. I've always wanted to meet, like, Juventud because of the simple fact that I have a CMLL World Heavyweight belt, and I got Psychosis to sign one side, and I wanted to get Juvi to sign the other side because, of course, they're former, partners. They work together. They've had great matches together. That whole thing. So I thought it would be awesome to actually get his signature. Turns out about 7 months after I met Psychosis, Juvi was scheduled to come through town through the same promotion that Psychosis once worked for. It's a promotion that comes through town about twice a year. About 2 to 3 times a year, I'd say they come through town. Always with different guys, so it's never the same guy twice, like their bigger name star. So basically, how it worked was basically I was like, oh hey, I'm gonna go meet Hoovy, so on and so forth. My dad, I basically went to like my parents' house, and my dad was like, kind of like, oh well, if you want to go meet him, like maybe we could just like we did last time, kind of like go to the back and get him to sign my belt and stuff like that. So it's like 4:30, and my dad's like, oh, they're probably setting up the ring. We'll go now. So we went to the venue, which was like just down the street. So I went inside, and basically the doors were open. I went inside, and the guy was like, "Oh, and like you have to buy tickets, and tickets are all sold out, and you got to go wait in line. This side for VIP, that side for regular, so on and so forth." And he was like, he booted me out of the building. Basically, he was the guy that ran the um, I don't know, I guess community center or whatever you can want to call it. So I then left, and my dad kind of pulled around, and actually he pulled out because he was just like, "Oh, we'll go to the hotel room. Maybe we could meet them for a hotel at their hotel room or something." And I was like, "Well, what hotel would they stay at?" He's like, "Oh, the closest one to here is this. We'll go check it out." So we actually pulled up, and we drove down the road, and then we seen the truck and trailer that we recognized from last year, and so we ended up turning around, and we're like, "Oh, that's them." So we turned around and we followed them, and they pulled to the front. A couple guys got out, went in the building. The truck and trailer pulled around to the back uh, entrance, and they opened up their trailer, and they basically opened up the back of the building, and they started unloading. Um, yeah, we basically ended up kind of being like I went up there, and I was just like if I could get in the building, I could, like, I'm safe. Like I could hang out there. I could see maybe if like Hoovy's around yet, that whole thing. So basically, we were like, "Hey, you need a hand?" And then they're like, "Yeah, sure." So we started giving them a hand with everything, uh, with like their setups and stuff like that. So once we got into the building, we were like setting up chairs and everything like that, and we were helping them with their setup, and we ended up like working there for them. And it's funny because the wrestling company thought we worked for the venue, and the venue thought we worked for the wrestling company, even though we were just some jokers off the street. Didn't work for either, but both parties thought we worked for them. So we were just hanging out until we got to meet Hoovy, and it got really late. We were there for like 4:30 to 6, and Hoovy still wasn't there. So my dad's like, okay, like maybe he's not going to show, like we can't stay here forever. And then I went to the back of the building, and I heard like banging on the door. So I was like, oh, I'll let them in. So I opened the door, and then the wrestlers just started piling in one right after another. So I was like, okay, well, Hoovy's going to be a part of that. And sure enough, last guy to come in was Juventud. So I was like, hey, Hoovy, how you doing? How's it going, man? He was like, oh, good, I'm great. How you doing? He was really friendly, really great guy. I was like, hey, can you sign my belt? He's like, yeah, sure, I'll sign it for you. I'll sign it for you. So he went like kind of like around the corner and stuff, and I was like hanging around in the back, and they were doing like their little chant, like little thing there. And I was like, once they were done, I was like, hey, you want to sign my belt? He's like, yeah, I'll sign it for you. I'll sign it for you. So sure enough, finally, he ended up signing the belt for me. And I couldn't have been happier. Shook my hand, shot the shit a bit. And then we turned around and we laughed. We could have actually even stayed to watch the whole show, but, we kind of just got the belt signed and met him and stuff. And I'll show you the belt signature in just one sec right now. So if you guys could see that, that is Juventud, his signature when he signed it. So of course after he signed it, you know, shook his hand and, you know, thanked him, and like I said, shot the shit with him for a little bit. But yeah, that's the whole story about how I met Hoovy. This is the belt, and of course that is Psikosis's signature as well. So I have Psicosis on one side of the CMLL World Heavyweight title, and I got Juventud Guerreras on the other. Great moment, one of the best moments of my life, for sure, hands down. But that's the story on how I met Juventud Guerrera. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.